Good morning, everyone. Okay. Happy Monday. It's sunny. It's freezing, but it's sunny. It makes everything better. We took Dalton outside sledding yesterday, and it was so fun. I actually got so tired though because I had worked out first, and my legs felt like noodles from like walking through that deep snow. But it was really nice to just be out in the fresh air. I'm just sharing this. Food, Rebels. Okay. This is really tricky. Can I just tell you how different the lighting is from one place in my house to another? Okay, don't let deprivation stop you. I want to tell you guys about this topic. I guess is related to a post that I wrote yesterday, and it was about, hi Emily, it was about on Saturday, I think we went to the gym and swimming with Dalton. That's funny, like yesterday we were in the like 12 feet of snow, and the day before we were like swimming in the hot gym pool. And we got in trouble because we weren't like in the water all the way, but now we know the rules, I guess. So after that, Heath, my husband, was like, let's go get pizza. And like, I'm not surprised, he always wants to go get pizza. And there's this place on the way home that's kind of new, and it's one of these restaurants that's like, you build your own. So that's cool, right? Because you can choose your preferences. So it's like build your own pizza. They have cauliflower crust, they have gluten-free option crust, and they have like regular pizza deeper dish crust. And then all your toppings, and now they even have plant-based proteins like vegan meatballs and chicken, etc. So you can kind of really customize it, right? And so here's the backstory. So I was starving, and I'm sure they were too, but like really what I wanted to eat was just the food that I had at home, because it's like, I like it better, you know, I like how I make it. It's more filling. I can put it exactly like I want. I was kind of being a brat. So we go in and we're gonna like order these pizzas, and they're getting like 2 pizzas that are gluten-free crust. And I found out later, Heath was like, why is the cauliflower crust more calories than the gluten-free? And I'm like, oh, that's why you picked that? It wasn't that big a difference anyways, but I'm like, well, there might be a lot of cheese in it or something as a binder, or eggs. Anyhow, that's not really the story. So I'm like, okay, fine, I will just make myself a salad, or have them make me a salad. And they had like 2 containers of lettuce, and one was romaine and one was like mixed greens. And they both looked horrible, you guys, like dead lettuce, like wilted. Like, no one is going to this pizza place to make salads except me. So there was like high school boys working, and so I was just nice, and I said, hey, can you guys get me some new greens, because those look really wilted? So they did. And then the guy, well, I wish I had my bowl. So there was like a white bowl, you know, it's kind of slanted, but it opens, and this kid is like putting the stuff in it and the greens first, but he's like so skimpy with it, and he's just like putting like a tiny amount of this, and then he's asking me what vegetables I want, and I was like, well, tomatoes and blah blah blah, and he was just like really like not throwing them in there the way that I like to make salads, which was like loaded up. Like, you don't even know how big my salads are, how much I eat in a day. And I swear to God, he put like 1 cilantro leaf on there when I asked for cilantro. But anyways, the point was, 1, I was in a mood because I was kind of pouty about going there, but I'm trying to always like go with the flow. And then my energy was so like grumpy and off that like, how could I not get that kind of service / result to have like spare salad, you know, partitions. And anyways, so I ate my salad like in 10 seconds before their pizzas even came, and then their pizzas came, and I was so hungry, but I'm sitting there going like, I can't eat that. That cheese looks gross, and there's hardly any vegetables on that, and that mushroom doesn't even look cooked. Don't they know how to cook anything? And so I was just being really like grumpy about it. And so we come home, and then I like make myself more food, and then I end up eating some of that pizza anyways. But the post that I'm talking about was like all of this brain drama that happens when we can have this strange relationship with food. So like I don't want to have to like think all the time about like what's in that crust and what's in that cheese, and you know, how many vegetables they're putting on there. Are they doing it just like I want to do it? It's like there's a hard, I have a hard time, and I know a lot of people do, that's why I'm talking about this, like just having like an easygoing type relationship with food where you don't try to control freak it all day, every day. And for like, when you've had a strained relationship with food, whether it's like because your health has gotten off track, or your gut, or your weight, or your energy levels, or whatever is your situation, it can feel like a tighter gripped situation, right? Because you have had to come to learn that food has this effect on our physical bodies. And when we've been in the place where our physical bodies have sort of not been ideal, or we felt like we lost the control over it, then it's really hard to break that pattern. I don't want to say like it's really hard. I mean, it's just something we have to do to break the pattern and be able to have more of a relaxed feeling and more of a like it doesn't matter as much type of thing, you know, to what you're choosing every minute of every day, right? Because I think restaurants are particularly hard when, like now we know all this stuff, right? Like they use a lot of like bad oils, like canola oil, and we know that that's really inflammatory. And, you know, it's like fried and handled, and it's like not organic, and all these things. So it is something that we have to deal with, right? Because now people are becoming way more aware of the food industry and the food condition. And of course we all want it to be as good as it can be. We all want it to be healthy and safe and sustainable and nutritious and all of it. We want all of it. And that's typically like my attitude is I just want what I want everywhere all the time in the exact way that I want it. So, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just sometimes you don't have exactly that. So like, for example, at this pizza place, I was hungry, and if I could just release the need to control or worry that something in that pizza was really bad or was gonna bother me, then I could have just eaten it and had a good time. And in doing that, in knowing that my body wasn't so fragile, then the pizza really wouldn't be that big of a deal anyways. So in the post I was talking about like the guilt that we feel around food, but like it really does come back to like how much do we need it? How much do we need to lean on it? And how much do we need to release it? And this is going to be different for all of you guys. Like it really just matters where you are right now. Okay. So, actually this video I'm doing in response to one of the comments, because, she was saying how like this is her biggest struggle because she has symptoms that her health isn't like where she wants it to be, but, it feels like deprivation, right? It feels like, a struggle, and it feels like kind of like hard and like unhappiness in life because you can't eat the way you want. And I get it. I mean, when I worked with all of my food sensitivity clients, I was amazed by them because they would do these very extreme elimination diets. And I'm so glad I don't have people do that anymore. It's not even required to be so extreme, but a lot of people just did it and they followed it to a T. And they would get good results because it was just a very whole foods, clean diet. And with the protocol that I had them do, it was like, you know, dairy-free and gluten-free and pretty much grain-free from the beginning, and then you can add and add and add things back in. So this idea that, okay, I have this dilemma, right? Because there's two things that I want. I want to change my health. I want to be free of symptoms, like forever. I want to be free of symptoms forever. I want to get rid of the physical conditions of the symptoms. I want to look lighter, leaner, or whatever. But also, I don't want to feel like I am eating in a way that is so limited that I have no joy over food, I have no fun with food, and I like can't go out to eat, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. So this is why people get stuck right in place. And then they don't move any which way, and you can just get more frustrated and frustrated because you're just staying in the middle of this battle in your mind. And that prevents you from taking consecutive action steps that would just get you to where you want to go. So what I want to say about this is, if you're in a position of, you know, you have chronic symptoms of your body, or you have gut issues, or you have fatigue issues, or you have skin, or you have, I don't know, fertility, you just have to look at where you are, and you have to look at where you want to be. And the first part of this is, do I know what to do? Do I know what I need to do in order to move my body into where I want it to go? If you don't know that, then like that's really frustrating, right? So that's the first step, is the clarity. And really, I can always tell you guys the answer is infuse your body with loads of nutrients from colorful foods. Get rid of all the trigger foods. I have this whole list and explanation of trigger foods. That's like the first lesson in my Fueled and Focused course and my membership site, because it is what you guys need to know. If there was only certain things in the world that you knew were like actually the hard stuff on your body, and you could just get rid of them, then do it, you know, because there's so many options today. But if you don't know what to do, like, you need the clarity. But the simplest answer, you know, is lots of plant-based, and eating in a way that's easy on the gut so that your gut can start to speed up and heal, and your liver can start to cleanse, and all these things that happen in synchronicities. But then it's like, okay, crap, I know what to do, but I don't want to do it. And I was having this conversation with my parents this weekend and this week, and it's not just them, it's like everybody, right? Like, nobody wants to be told that you can't eat something that you love. And it's like, if you do, you're sort of like messing everything up, and you're messing up the healing potential of your body, and then it's not going to work. So there's a couple things you need to think about, right? So you look at deprivation, but have you ever really tried this type of plan? Like I said before, elimination diets like FODMAPs and those type of things, like, those are pretty difficult. But do you know that you don't need to do those? Like, what you need to do is to clean it up and to infuse the nutrients. And the way that I see it is, that is not deprivation. There's no, like, you don't need to measure calories. You guys know this, right? You don't need to measure calories. You don't need to measure macros. You don't need to count your protein grams and fat. Like, that's so annoying. Your body isn't like asking you to do that. That's almost like just clinging on too tightly. And I know some people thrive on it. They're not my people. So the body just wants real things from you. It isn't that complicated. And it's not deprivation to give yourself lots of flavorful foods in beautiful ways that taste amazing and are nourishing and are purifying and cleansing you and healing you and transforming you. So, like, I was talking to my mom, and I'm always like trying to get her to, or help her, and she'll probably watch this video too. But, you know, like, if you feel like, well, I can't ever eat, I mean, like, what is it? Tell me, what do you think you can't eat? And your body isn't that weak and fragile. It's actually like, you have to be in a pretty extreme health condition that you need to be so particular. You know, that's sort of like not knowing what the body does for us every single day. Like, do you know, like, you don't have to tell your body to breathe. You don't have to tell your body, make sure my heart pumps this many times. Like, you don't have to tell your legs to move in all these different ways. You just walk. You know, your body's really smart and really powerful, and you don't have to control it that much. You do have to get rid of all of the inflammation foods for a period of time when you have symptoms happening in your body that are not going away. And that shouldn't feel like deprivation, because if it does, your focus is on the lack. And like, I can't have this. I can't have, I don't know what it is, crackers, or I can't have pizza, or I can't have wine, or something or something or something. That's not even necessarily true. You know, like if you had, like, my friend Jessica. Hi, Emily. I saw you just joined my group. Let me see what you're saying. You have EBV stage 5, have had since you're 8. You have chronic fatigue, insomnia, vertigo, inflammation, liver pain. How do you heal from it? I'm curious. I'm not really glad you're on here. How did you come to learn that you had EBV at the age of 8? Because that's good to know, right? It's amazing to know, especially from a young age. And I think a lot of us actually had this exposure probably years before our symptoms showed up. So I wonder if your symptoms have been around for that long, or if they've come about more in the recent years. But typically that's what it does, right? It comes out of the spleen or the liver when we're in a weakened state. I was having this exact conversation with my dad last night because he has like this thyroid stuff. Yeah, medical medium. That's when I started. So you knew about medical medium when you were 8? That's insanely good. Like, I know he's been around forever, but I think I've only known about him for like a year and a half, if that. Yeah, okay, so here's my question to you. And reading the book, you could relate to specific moments when it went from stage 1 to 5. Right, yeah. So I think almost everybody has EBV in their body. And, oh, not 8? Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Oh, you read the book and then you realized going back. I gotcha. Yeah, so it's the same. It's really the same thing that happened with me in my infertility. I like read his first book, and then I got the healing foods, and then I got the thyroid, and then I got the liver book, which I gave to my parents right now. But so yeah, like you can trace back, like, oh, this is because of this, and that's because of that. It makes a lot of sense. So I guess my question to you is, and I always have this question, and I know the answer, not specific to each person unless I'm working with them, but why are you well, first of all, are you following his protocol for EBV stage 5 or even 1? Exactly. Okay. So yeah, so this is the other side of the equation, okay? So in one case, you have a person, so you guys tell me if you resonate with either of these things. Like, you might be the person who has symptoms, but you don't want to commit to doing these things like following the medical medium plan because it seems hard and it seems restrictive, and you're like, I just don't want to have to do that. Then you have the other people, like Emily and like my sister, who are like following it to a T, and maybe you get some benefits, and maybe you get the confidence in knowing that you're doing good things, but yet you're not going, your body's not healing, right? Why is the body not healing? So here's why. Because we are not just physical beings. And I wish that everyone could simply like clean up their diet and it would be an automatic healing. It would be an automatic cure. It would be an automatic transformation. And I think that for people that follow like fruits and vegetable protocol or raw foods for a little bit or a certain cleanse, you have to know like that it's been a few weeks. Okay, it's been a few weeks, but you're exhausted all the time. You have to know that what you're doing is very good for your cells. I hope you know that. So anytime that you're putting in so many fruits and vegetables, your cells are going to be good with that. That is what they want, right? Because I like to talk about foods in terms of vibration. If our total wellness and healthiest body is a certain vibration, it's at a very high frequency. That's the way that we're meant to be. That's the way we're meant to be. We are not meant to be sick. It's like a disallowance of health that happens when we have chronic symptoms in our body or any symptoms. So, and it takes so much for that to happen. In fact, have you guys heard of the book Quantum Healing by Deepak? I've mentioned it before, I think, but there's some like a sentence in there that says like for a person to get like the common cold. Oh, you have it, great. Then like 100 things have to go wrong, 1,000 things, a large number of things have to go wrong for us to even get a cold. So a lot of other number of things needs to go wrong for us to get chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, infertility, all of these things. So you have to remember, like, okay, here's what I know for sure. I know that I am meant to be healthy. I know that my body knows how to be healthy. I know that it is possible for me to be healthy, to have a healing, to have a transformation, to have healthy organs and tissues and cells. So that's your natural state, and that's a high frequency. And your cells are always communicating to you what they need and what they essentially need from you in order to do their healing processes. So take this example where you have a person who is like stumbled upon medical medium, let's say, and reads everything and like you get it, right? Like it makes sense. Like when I read it, I was like, oh, holy Lord, like this is insane. Like I was like, this is so true. Like I could feel it in my bones from like all of my like studies as being a dietitian and working with the gut, and it was like the missing links were right there, and it was so simple. So like the cells are always like communicating. So then what happens is like people with a huge desire to know about certain things will be led to the right answers. So I think, and I know I was led to this book by, I was like watching a Gabby Bernstein blog, and like her friend Jordan had like a blog, a YouTube something, and then I watched his, and then he had recommended it, then I bought it, I had no idea what it was about, and I bought it and it changed my life. And so Emily, I think, yeah, high frequency to the book. So like, I believe you were led to find those answers. Now, I've had clients of all different kinds, and what I have to tell you is it hugely matters on a couple things. Like, so let me just ask you, anyone watching, do you believe that if you've read Medical Medium, do you believe that your body, first of all, do you believe your body can heal itself? And I do, 100%, and I've healed my body, like from my infertility. Do you believe that foods heal? Do you believe food is medicine? Do you believe like the protocols in the book, like the fruit and vegetable detox, for anyone who doesn't know, like now you're all gonna know. Do you believe that that is what the body is looking for from you? Like celery juice and all, or just the smoothies or whatever. Like those are your high frequency foods. It is straight up a fact that fruits and vegetables, raw and then like cooked in water and then cooked or whatever, they're still the highest frequency of fuel, nutrition, cleansing, purification, nourishment that we could get as a human. There's nothing else that does better for our bodies and cells than those foods. Sometimes what happens is, because we learn all of this, we like take it in, we're like, oh, okay. So it's like our mind has taken over on what to do, more than just like hearing our cells tell us what they need. So you can't mess it up, like when you're eating plant-based, and if you're going through like a healing protocol or something, like just know, like, it's not like you're going to heal versus not heal if you eat an apple versus a pear, or if you have the detox smoothie versus a green smoothie, or things like that. You know, like, this is what I was talking about originally. Like, your body is not that fragile. It's not that fragile. Like, you can eat different fruits and vegetables. I can eat a gluten-free pizza now, you know, like, I don't have any severe chronic inflammation anymore. And so you have to remember that. Remember, I always say this example, you guys, but people out there right now are drinking Mountain Dew and they're not falling over dead. And if food was that powerful, then they would. And yes, like, all those chemicals add up and add up and add up. But you have to remember, like, there's other things going on. So what else is going on? Well, you have to remember that more than the physical body you're in than you are, that you're more of a spiritual being. And so unless you are paying attention to that side of your life, you're fighting an uphill battle every single time. Like, out of 100%, you have 20. You're in perfection of 20. But it's not going to get you there if you don't use and utilize and access and look at and learn from this other side of you, or this whole of you. So what does it take to heal? It takes knowing you can. It takes faith that you will. It takes the belief. It takes the faith even when you've been doing it for 3 weeks and you don't see the difference yet. But it really has to come from this solid, like, you can't tell me any other way, certainty, and getting rid of and working through any of your doubts, any of your fears, any of the limitations or the things that might be keeping you here. And I think I mentioned this on Friday's video, like, is there any way that you're currently benefiting from not healing? From not seeing the symptoms go away? Is there any way you're benefiting from staying right here, staying right where you are? Because that counts times a million. And I say this all the time, but like, I was benefiting from infertility. I was benefiting from it because I was like afraid to be pregnant. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to work and have a career and do it all and have it all. And yeah, like, all of it. So that needed to be addressed, you know? And anything you think, oh, that can't be it, if it's in your mind, it matters. And so when I can see a client shift from like, oh, okay. I mean, because I don't even have to be the one like out here touting like fruit and vegetable cleanse, or like, you guys, you need to eat less protein, or you guys, you need to eat less fat. It's like, it's very obvious. Like, most people that are like hanging around here with me have read Medical Medium, or they will experience him or see him, but you're also in like the spiritual community or entrepreneur community. So you like get it. Like, there's something else happening here. And what is it? Like, there's all these healers, right? There's all these different healers, and everybody has their method and their protocol. And let me tell you, it's not the same for every student or person that works with somebody, right? You know? And what I have to tell you is, like, it's not just food. And I wish it was. I wish it was sometimes, because if I could just convince somebody for like 21 days to eat fruits and vegetables that they would be cured and healed, then I think people probably would do it. I hope so. You know, like, you have to at least try. And Emily, if you or anyone who's done the medical medium cleanse, I've had a lot of people ask me about it. Like you drink these smoothies that taste like ice cream. Like that's not deprivation. I mean, I can see what it feels like in terms of like, I just want to be able to go eat a burger, or I just want to be able to go have a sandwich or spaghetti. So on the one hand, you can have all of that made in a different way. And then on the other hand, right now, are you doing what you need to be doing? Is that worth it to you? Sometimes the shift needs to come in terms of not fighting what you're doing, like letting go, just doing it and being all in with your whole heart because it's what's there for you, right? Like instead of like fighting against it and being like, I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. I don't want to do this, but I have to do this. You each have to look at where you are today, right now. What do you desire for your health? What do you desire for your body? And then what do you know to do to achieve that benefit with your diet? I mean, it does matter and it does count. This isn't about perfection. And I know people that follow me range all the way from having chronic inflammation and diseases to just addicted to sugar and wish they weren't. So it looks different. So if you're addicted to sugar and you wish you weren't, well, take it out, cut it out as much as you can. That could be your huge first step. You know, like just do it and know it's gonna feel different and hard at the beginning. If you're in the middle of chronic inflammation and you know you need to be really treating food as like a liquid nutrition IV, then be there and do it, but believe in it and be okay with doing it for a little bit of time, for as long as you need to, right? But don't close yourself off and thinking that it won't work for you. What it has to include in order for the healing to happen is the whole of you has to want it. The whole of you has to be ready for it. And there is a buildup, okay, of what happens. So I want to explain this. So if you've read a book like Quantum Healing, or if you understand quantum physics at all, so everything is energy, and we aren't creating new energy. We're just moving it around. So just like it took a current of energy for your body to now show you what it's showing you, it will also take a moving of that current of energy in a different way to show you a new, healed, healthy, lighter being body. So what can seem sometimes like an instant healing really has to do with how quickly you can move that energy. And so all these things have to line up. So you're doing the things with the diet, you're doing the things with the food, you're believing in the diet, you're believing in the food, but you're also working on any of those, like that noisy stuff in your mind that's going like, this can't work. What if it doesn't work? I don't know if it's gonna work. It didn't work for her. Why did it work for her? Why is it not working for me? How long is this gonna take? And on and on and on and on. And all the noises and the stuff I said before about like, how are you benefiting by staying the same? Look at your expectations. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it has to take a long time? Because that could be a very simple fix too, you know? Oh, well, I've had these conditions for this many years, so it's gonna take a long time to heal. Why? Like, you guys, there are no rules. There's no rules. Like, even medical medium will say like, well, if you have this stage of adrenal fatigue, it's gonna take this many months, or this stage is this many months. Who says? You're the one deciding. But anything you read and then you completely just believe, then that's what you believe now. So that's why people in the health community that are like more, why is that dark? Weird. That are more like holistic minded are always encouraging you guys that you should, you know, really check in. Who are you following? Do you believe in them? Are they telling you the truth? Do they believe in your potential for healing? So this is what made me so mad when I was talking to my dad last night because he got blood work back, right? Like for his triglycerides high and his thyroid was off and cholesterol. And, you know, like they didn't tell him anything. Like they didn't tell him what to do except take a medication. That's not fair. Like we can't keep having a world like this. People need to know that they have the power right in their fingertips, at their grocery stores, in their gardens, on a farm, in a jungle, wherever the bananas are, right? And it's in your mind. If you had hardly access to any of these fruits and vegetables, you could still heal. What do you need more? The power of your mind or the certain salad on your plate? It's your mind. So the way that I coach people and I try to teach this is the food really matters. And we need to start knowing all of this and getting it everywhere so that we start feeding our children like this, so that those fruits and vegetables can go in there and activate and cleanse and detox and nourish, so that there isn't time, like years and years of not knowing, like happened with me and my family and like everyone basically. When you don't know and the body's just doing its thing with the best that it has, but the best that it has isn't very good because nobody taught us how to eat, that's where disease comes from, along with living in fear and doubt and stress about all these things in life, right? Adrenaline is a bitch. So you've got to get rid of it. And you get rid of it by soothing where you are. And you soothe where you are literally, physically by food. This is why I preach about you've got to soothe your gut. You have to soothe the gut. You have to soothe the lining. You have to soothe the way that you eat. And you have to soothe your mind. And if you're in the middle of a shit show, like my life is a wreck, everything is hard, it's stressful, your relationship, your job, or whatever. It might be one thing, it might be 10. It might just be your health, but it's actually not because everything's connected. Then you have to learn how to soothe that. You have to learn how to soothe the energy of your feelings. Like, I was talking to one of my best friends over the weekend, or maybe Friday, about this. Letting go of the emotions that you're holding on to. If you could let go of these emotions in the body, someone's messaging me. If you could let go of these fear-based emotions, of these lack-based emotions in your body, the symptoms would start to dissipate faster than you could even imagine. This is the truth. So emotions are stored in your cells. We have trillions and trillions of cells. The power of influence over your cells is insanely huge. Your body is one of the first things that will show you the results of your inner work. It has to. It's like it's you in a ball of energy. So you can really be grateful for this about your body. I'm getting really hot. You can be really grateful and appreciative. Okay, I appreciate you, body. I appreciate you for showing me that I still feel fatigued, that I still feel bloated, that I still feel like I have psoriasis. I don't know, whatever it is, right? I appreciate you showing me that I'm still doing the work. But then remember, it doesn't happen just like that, but it also doesn't take years. So your work is to build up the energy. I know, because it's hot. I'm in the sun. And I think it's because I'm preaching. The blood is boiling. Your work is to believe in yourself, to believe in the body, to believe in the power of healing, which comes from all there is, which is love. So if you understand symptoms and disease and lack of health, that is the emotions of lack of love in the body. So if you think about what power is, the energy of moving things to create something new, that's all love. So all there is love, and love is a high frequency. So your frequencies of emotions that match love are going to match healing and well-being and wellness. So if you know that you have symptoms and disease, then you just have to know that you have emotions of lack of love, stagnant, stored in your cells. So there's muscle memory. I used to teach this when I taught Pilates all the time. Like, you train your muscles, you set up your bones, your pelvis, your legs, your arms, you give it a resistance factor, and it will work every time. You can tone that bicep muscle, you can tone that tricep muscle, you can tone your abductors and adductors in certain ways. It's just a fact. Like you set the body up, you watch your form, and you will use certain muscles when you do this in a certain way. And people can do that for a little bit of time and create what's called muscle memory. So then it becomes natural feeling to be in alignment with your posture, with your muscles, with your bones, and you're realigned. Like you're standing taller. You're everything's not like crooked or pinched. Like one side isn't shorter than the other. And then, so this is what would happen with my clients, because like usually my clients would come 2 or 3 times a week, and then they'd go on vacation or go on a cruise or whatever, and then they would come back and they'd be like, Jody, oh my gosh, I've been gone only a week and I can tell I feel so different. But it comes right back because of muscle memory. So the longer you do something, the more it's rememberable to you. So the longer that you've been in a pattern of thinking a certain way or feeling a certain way, because the feelings come first, then it's rememberable, this is my word of the day, to all of your cells that are holding on to that low vibration emotion that's representing itself in different disease states. But you can change it to go the other way. So as bad as you feel now, or as lack of health you feel now, it can go the other way in an unlimited direction of abundance of health, okay? You can only go so far in negative, you'll die, and then you'll be free. How do you pinpoint your inner unsupportive beliefs? Well, there's lots of ways about it. Like one of the things you can do is to ask yourself some of those questions that I was mentioning, like, do you believe you can heal? If you'd say yes, but is there any doubts? Like, why don't I believe that I can heal? Why don't I believe that I can see this transformation? Or why don't I believe that I can see it in a certain amount of time? And Emily, if you ask yourself, like, take a couple deep breaths and like close your eyes maybe and put your hand on your heart. If I asked you, here you are right now today in this body and you feel fatigue and you feel the symptoms of EBV, what's in the middle? What's in the way of you today versus you free of all of that? Free and living in your healthiest body. You have no worries. You have no fears of disease. You have no fears of like going backward. Can you imagine yourself there? Can you imagine yourself in that body in this life? You need to be able to do that, you know? And I remember when I was like diagnosed with infertility and I was sitting on this couch right here that we still have. It's like, I don't know, 10 years old. And, well, maybe not, maybe 7 or 8. So I just remember like being here with my computer and going like, what in the hell is wrong with me? I had never had a body that was feeling like unhealthy or feeling sick. And I didn't know any of this stuff. I didn't know that I could choose to heal and I could choose to do it in a way that I was lined up with. Like I didn't know I could choose to become fertile and also stay fit and healthy and in shape and eat well, but I just didn't know. And so like that's why like I'm on these videos now, is because I wish there was a person talking about this in a way that I could get and understand, and telling me like there's no rules, that I was living under the you know, constrictions, restrictions, constraints of a Western world that was telling me I was broken, that was telling me that this was wrong and that was wrong. And I had to discover, probably like you guys too, that, there's actually a lot of reasons for this, right? There's a lot of reasons for this, and nobody wants you to know that. Like the system doesn't want you to know that. And so I think it's really powerful for every single person who has a health crisis or a health condition to heal it and then scream really loud about it. So all your friends know, all your family know. Let the world know. Like, you don't need to have all the drugs. You don't have to be stuck. You don't have to be scared, but you do have to have faith, and you do have to believe with your whole heart, and you do have to find a protocol that you do believe in, because you do need to do something about it. Like, you don't want to be ignorant, and I don't think anyone here is, but if there is an action to take, then take it. Do it. Like, get what you want. Like, don't be shy about it, or don't think you can't have it. It's like all of you has to go there. All of you has to go there with your faith and your mind and your beliefs and your certainty and your desire of it first, and then all the actions will be so easy, right? So we were talking about deprivation. Well, what do you want more? What do you want more? Do you want to heal? It's not a death sentence. Like, there's nowhere in the world or the Bible or the universe that says you have to eat like this for 25, for 35, for 50, 60, whatever days, and then your Epstein-Barr will be gone. I don't know if it even ever is gone, you guys. I think it just sort of is dormant, and I think it's like there's all these things circulating in the world, but you can become a person who believes that you're resilient to it forever. Like, that's what I believe. Like, how could I get it? Like, now I know. You guys have read Medical Medium. Do you believe in it? Like, I know what it is. I know what feeds it. I know what doesn't feed it. I know what kills it. I know what starves it. I know what eliminates it. I know I have the power. I can heal. There's no way, because I trust myself. I'm not going to go drink canola oil or eat a load of fried chicken or whatever, you know? If I want to eat pizza, am I going to die? No. If I want to eat pizza, am I going to get Epstein-Barr? No. Like, I disallow it. I decide. I'm not going to have that. So I had to get there, and it took some time for me to have this deep faith, but all the pieces have been shown to me. I know, and when I work with a person, it's either something you're doing with your diet, and usually there's some like tweaks to be made, but not if you're being like a perfect fruit and vegetable cleanser. Sometimes it's easing up a little bit, you know, and not needing to be so perfect. Like when I was talking to my dad, you know, I think he was resistant because he grew up on a farm. Like, my parents grew up on farms. I was on my grandparents' farms. So like telling someone, okay, you need to drink a thyroid healing smoothie, like blueberries and bananas and stuff. And he was looking at me like, okay, I've told him 2 times. But my mom texted me before I did this video that he was having it and he liked it. I mean, he likes ice cream. It's not like, it's just like there's a shift. And however much resistance you have to doing it, that's counted into the results you're going to get. Because people kick and scream on diets and they get minimal, mediocre results, and people go into it because they feel like it's calling them to do it. So your diet might be a medical medium cleanse, your diet might be called get rid of sugar, your diet might be called work with a ketogenic coach, not me, your diet might be called intuitive eating. Typically, like, I believe in intuitive eating, and I believe that I am an intuitive eater, but I couldn't be an intuitive eater until I knew exactly what foods were doing in me and for me. But now, you know what intuitive eating takes? It takes trust. And healing takes trust. It takes to trust your food. It takes to trust someone that is teaching you or helping you or reflecting back to you. And it takes trusting yourself that you are doing all you need to do. Because even when you feel like there's all this pressure, like I have to do this and I have to do that, and I don't know for how long, you just have to trust that you have been guided and you have been led. And unless you feel completely certain that this isn't right, or you don't believe in it, or you know you really need something else, then you might need to go find something else. But what I see all the time with the girls that I think are my soul clients are they know enough. They know enough about like the physical parts of food, and like you've probably read Medical Medium, like I said, and you've also probably been to like functional medicine doctors and naturopaths and acupuncturists. And like I went to acupuncture, I went to different practitioners, and energy healers, etc. But I had to figure out what I needed. And so what I see that a lot of people need is this other side now, which is more of the inner work, the getting you all the way there. What is it going to take to get you there? Like to see the weight fall off, to see your energy skyrocket back. It's living as who you really are. So this health thing, that's not who you really are. So it's in the way of who you really are. And take that away. And is there anything scary about that? Is there anything unknown that makes you hesitate? That's the work. That's the work. And I really think that like the food stuff for you guys type of people is not really your problem. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to convince you to buy like almond flour crackers or something. But there's a huge world out there who doesn't know what that is and thinks wheat thins are the bomb. You know, I used to. And there's a huge world where nobody knows anything about food, and like our schools are feeding kids things are not food, and we have to change it. But for whatever reason right now I'm talking to this group, and I think it's because I was totally there and I felt so lost, and I wish somebody could have helped open up my eyes and my mind and given me this really solid faith of what I was doing, but also helped me dig in a little bit more to this inner work of what I needed to believe and what I needed to know and what I needed to trust in order to heal all of it, like for good, and then to be on the other side and to be like, there's no one's gonna tell me like that I can't heal anything, or I won't tell anyone out there that you can't heal anything, right? Nothing is scary when you know the truth. And there's all there is what we do here physically with our diet, with our food, with our fresh air and sunlight and grounding and movement and meditation, and that connection then leads us into this whole other side. And just, it's such a big part of the picture. This is why every single person isn't healing from eating and drinking celery juice. You know, who says you have to have it? I don't do it hardly ever because I'm like, yeah, I get it, like, but I don't need it, and I don't need to scare myself into thinking that I need it, or I'm not going to be, you know, good anymore. Like, I healed myself without celery juice. I believe it's a great little potion for a lot of people, but not everyone needs it, and not everyone needs to do that 28-day thing, or, you know, whatever, but everyone will have a path. Does anyone have questions? Emily, are you still there? If you have any questions, let me know. I know, like, my face is really red because I was really talking a lot, got heated up. But yeah, my conversation with my dad and like all you guys too, like, it sucks. Like, I want you to have the body that you want. Just remember, like, if you've had it before, you can have it again. Even if you've never had it, don't worry, because it's not that you're getting rid of what you have now. You're just creating something new. That's what this is. This is the creation of health. This is the creation of vitality and the creation of longevity, which is yours. It's given. So it's how do we match that? For sure, you definitely need to journal. Like, all my clients, I teach journaling, and it's been very helpful for me. What are my thoughts about apple cider vinegar? No. Did you see my post on Saturday? That's one of the food fad myths. Apple cider vinegar does nothing for you except taste gross. And you don't even need vinegar in your life. Yeah, you're welcome. So you guys, just so you know, I have my Fueled and Focused course and membership still open, which is how I teach plant-based eating, all the cooking formulas, recipes, etc. And that's open now and consistently. However, I'm gonna add like a joining fee at the end of the week. So if you wanna get in and just either pay the year in full or the monthly, you can look at that now. I'll put the link in. And then if you're interested in private coaching, if you have more of a chronic issue, condition, then just send me a message and we can talk about that, right? Okay, so I'm here for you guys, whatever you need. Talk to you soon. Bye.